Alright, if you haven't already figured this out, this video is going to show you how to use the website Actively Learn, how to sign up for an account, and then kind of how to use it as an educational tool, something to help you read more effectively, more critically, and also just to complete assignments that will be built into this website through me. I can use it to create questions based on the readings we do. I'll insert notes, and we'll just go ahead and sign up and see what that's all about. So this is the main page. If you type in activelylearn.com or if you click the link in Schoology, it'll get you here. You're a student, so you'll need to click this white link to sign in and create an account. So just first name, last name, email address, and then create a password, and the class code is something you should do at this point. The class code is located in English 11 on the Actively Learn page. I'll show you where that is as soon as it loads. So I'm going to Materials, and then Quarter 1, Crucible, Week 5, the Crucible, and looking for Actively Learn. Here it is. So the class code is right here. Just copy it and paste it here. Complete sign up. I gotta use a different email. Alright, complete sign up. So I'm joining my own class, pretending to be a student. So I recommend that you watch this video. It'll tell you pretty much what I'm going to tell you, but it will do it in a engaging fashion. You can watch this video as soon as it pops up. Here's our class, the Crucible. These numbers here tells you how many notes I've created within the reading and how many questions there are. So there are 36 questions right now. I think 16 of them are for the first reading and 20 of them are for the second reading, which you'll be doing next week. So if you haven't started this reading yet, I recommend that you start now. If you look at the Week at a Glance page on Schoology, it gives you a recommended pacing, a recommended timeline, so kind of how to pace yourself to be successful with this reading. I recommend that you try to pace it to where you're reading 10 pages a day. So if we're reading 50 pages in a week, as we are this week, I think 10 pages in a day is really manageable. It's something that you can do. And I say only 10. You can do more if you want, if you feel comfortable, because there are a lot of notes to read. It's a complex text. It really makes you think. Don't just try to blaze through this. Really try to slow down your reading and understand what's going on, using your background knowledge and everything. The assignments that are built into Crucible are major assignments. They're worth a lot of points. So for those of you who are kind of behind right now, if you do these assignments, and even if you just give an effort, they don't have to be perfect, you're going to really be able to increase your grade. There are 16 questions. It's a lot, but it's also a chance to improve your grade, and it's one of our only big assignments this week. The rest are very small and should be easy. So for the Crucible, you go ahead and click it and to enter the reading. Here's the main page for Actively Learn. This is just the title page. Do note that I uploaded this as a PDF from the internet. Here's a blank page you're going to skip. And note what I'm doing to switch pages. I'm just clicking on this down arrow. Now I'm on page 3. Okay, here you'll already see that I've made some notes. So I'm in the student view. If I need to see these notes, I just click the highlighted text. And here's what Mr. Taylor, that's me, says. Remember that this play is based on true events, blah, 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 blah. So these notes, they're going to be color-coded. This one's called Using Background Knowledge. It'll tell you what the color code means, just based on the features of a text. So you'll have background knowledge, you'll have tone, you'll have purpose, you'll have meaning and evidence. There's a lot of good things here. So whenever you see this highlighted text, go ahead and click it, and something will pop up that will help you to better understand the text. One really cool thing about Actively Learn is that you can look up words really, really easily. So if you're reading this and you don't know what accepting means, you can highlight it, you can hear it.
Accepting.
Which isn't that great, but define, that's the best tool on this page. Define it. So it means not including. So it means to disclude, to not include. Great. So if I didn't know what that word meant, I can quickly look it up. I'm going to keep going. Here we start Act 1, and I have notes everywhere. Please read these notes. A lot of them are just giving you information about the play. So purple here is text structure. So why is everything in italics? It tells you that in a play, things in italics are in italics because they are stage directions. It tells you what the actors on stage would be doing, which is pretty important to understanding. Though in italics you'll also get things like, let's skip ahead here. Oh. And the cool thing, as a teacher, is I have questions here on each page. And in order to progress through the reading, to go forward in the reading, you have to answer these questions. The questions, like I said, they're going to help you boost your grade, and they're going to help you understand the text. They are close reading questions. So I'm really interested in seeing what you think about the text as you read it. So I'm really wanting you to read deliberately, slowly, purposefully. So the question here is, what does Miller imply or suggest when he says about the town of Salem, but today we would hardly call it a village? And I tell you where to find that. So I'm going to go up here to the fourth line, but today we would hardly call it a village. So his house stood in the town. I've read this. What he means is that it was a town back then. It could be considered a town because of its size, but today it would not really seem all that big. That's really what he means. It probably only had a few buildings. So I submit my questions. There it is. I'll be checking these, and here's the second question. What is the author's tone in this passage? It starts with, no one can really know what their lives were like. And I say, describe it in 2 or more sentences. So his tone there is, let's see, no one can really know what their lives were like. They had no novelists. Okay. The tone is somewhat critical and harsh. He states that there is not a whole lot of information about the town because the people, Puritans, back then were not willing to record their history. It is critical because he sounds like he thinks it would have been better if they had provided us with more information. Okay, I had 3 sentences, so I've answered that question. So I've done both, and now I can move on. All right, I just want to share one more thing. Like I said, read these notes. Define words by highlighting them if you don't know them. They're really there for your benefit. And it seems like a lot, it seems overwhelming, but again, if you pace yourself, if you read 10 pages a day throughout the week, it's really not going to be that impossible. So what is this an example of? Name the literary device. We're looking at this right here. So anything in this kind of light shade of red is going to be titled bottom of page questions, which tells you you're going to use this highlighted text to help you answer the question. So this is an example of foreshadowing, the coming madness. He's saying there's something to come, there's madness to come. This is an example of foreshadowing. Done. Explain the meaning of this sentence in your own words. So this is the other red text. The parochial snobbery of these people was partly responsible for their failure to convert the Indians. So the meaning of the sentence in my own words. So his tone is still really critical. He's calling these people snobs. He's saying they failed to convert the Indians because they wanted to convert them to Christianity. The Indians weren't interested. So the meaning of this is the Puritans tried to convert the Indians to their religion, but failed. And I could add more here, but I just want to move ahead to show you one more thing about the play. Okay, no question here, so I can keep going. Keep going. All right, we're going to stop here. One thing that you'll notice is that in a play, when they start to actually talk, and I'm just going to skip ahead. Here we go. When they start to talk, here's Tituba speaking and Paris speaking. You'll know what character is speaking because it'll have their name followed by a colon. So Paris says, "Out of here." Tituba says, "My Betty not gonna die." Backing to the door here, it's in italics, it's the slanted text. That's just the stage direction. So thinking about what you know about what I just said about stage directions, it means this is what they're doing on stage. He's backing up to a door. So this tells you the actions that are going on. Everything in the normal letters that follow like a name like Paris is just telling you this is what they're saying. So for example here, Paris says as he scrambles to his feet in a fury, "Out of my sight." Then she leaves. She is gone. Tituba is gone. "Out of my," and again the action. He is overcome with sobs. He clamps his teeth against them and closes the door and leans against it, exhausted. So that's an action. "Oh my God, God help me." He's talking again. And now we're back to action. It's in italics. Quaking with fear, mumbling to himself through his sobs, he goes to bed and gently takes Betty's hand. "Betty, child, dear child," etc., etc. So that's really important. Don't let this confuse you. Italics is stage directions or actions. Everything else are the words of the characters. You know who's speaking because you're going to look at the beginning of each line. One thing to note about this version is that some of the text got a little disorganized. So you'll see things like exhausted here. That should be one word, but as the document converted, they put this extra hyphen there. There are a lot of words like that. Exhausted, mumbling here. Ignore the hyphen and just read it as one word. So that's mumbling, that's exhausted. It'll happen again. You'll also see the names get misspelled. There's just small errors, but most of the text is right on. So don't let that stuff distract you. Just read through it. If there's a word that doesn't make sense and it's highlighted, click on the note and it might explain a little more. All right, good luck reading.